morning, everybody. I will just give it another couple of minutes and then we will get started. It's great to see you all here this morning, and I hope you're having some really good learning already. I'm looking forward to a really good day. I can't believe how many speakers that Anna's got arranged today. That's amazing. So I am just going to share my screen with you. Hope you can all see it there. And I will also just check the participants there. Right, we've got that. And I will open up the chat box, and you may want to do the same, just so that you can ask any questions that you may have throughout the course of the 40 minutes that we're with you. So I can see that we're still going up, but I will get started because I know that actually there's an awful lot of events going on today. So hopefully you can see my screen. If somebody could just let me know in the chat, that would be brilliant, just so that I know that that's brilliant. Thank you so much. And it's always great, you'll know from the teaching you're doing it so much better if you're getting feedback. So today it's all about looking at motivation and engagement, which I'm sure for both you as individuals and in your roles as teachers and educators, it's so crucial at the moment. Just so that you know, at the end of this session, I will be talking about something that I'm offering to you for free, so I will make sure that we've got time to do that before I leave you all. And also, just so you're aware, this session I can normally takes me half a day or a day to deliver. I looked at what I wanted to leave in and what I wanted to take out. I've decided that actually I've put in as much value as possible, but because of that, it would be great if we could put questions in the chat, and then whatever questions I haven't had the opportunity to answer during the webinar, I will come back to you individually on those questions. So hopefully when you register, you will have had the opportunity to download or see this grid. If you haven't, just make yourself a quick grid with names down the side with your name at the top, and then either people within your household or with students that you think are really struggling at the moment. And then as we go through, that might be really useful for you. So, what is motivation? If you're not connected with me, that's just my Twitter handle and LinkedIn, so it will be great to hear from you. This is the grid, I forgot I put it on there. So yeah, hopefully that'll show you a good example. Now, I thought it was worth starting with this change curve because throughout lockdown and going forward, we've all been experiencing highs and lows along the way. And some of us moved through that change curve quite quickly, others will have really struggled with it. And actually we all move backwards and forwards along that curve. So, and your students will be at all at different places, and you and your family will have been. And actually, that is so related to what motivates us. So I'm not going to read this out, but why I am so passionate about motivation is the fact that it impacts on everything we do. And I'm very clear that I'm not a motivational speaker. What I do is educate people about the importance of motivation, and I cannot stress on you enough how important that is. And I think this quote from Mark really sums it up. We can put anything, we can use every extrinsic motivation that is out there, but if we don't understand what's on the inside, we can't apply the right extrinsic motivator. And it's what gets us up in the morning. I've done personality tests, I'm sure you have, but actually our personality doesn't get us up in the morning, does it? It's our motivation. And I think this for me is, if you take away nothing else from this webinar, it is so crucial. We can see that the impact that motivation, lower motivation, has on our performance or our achievement. So, and the benefits of being motivated, not only do we feel better, and I think motivation is so related to mental health. I don't think you can have positive mental health without being motivated. I really do think they are so linked. And we learn more, we learn faster. And actually, our speed of decision making is impacted. So, and our preferred environment. I am just going to switch my phone off. I am so sorry, that's error number 1 of the day today. So we have got to remember when we're looking at motivators, there is no right or wrong motivator. And actually our motivation isn't a reflection of our skill. That's so crucial. So we've all got 9 different motivators, and I work from children aged 7 and upwards, but even before age 7, we can start to identify children's motivators, and we can apply simple things that actually we can test out what motivates them. So our motivators affect so many things, and you will see in the corner of each motivator that I talk about, you'll see the red, the green, or the blue. And actually you'll have the opportunity at the end, I will send you all a guide to the motivators, so don't feel you've got to write everything down. So our motivators also affect the language that we use, but also the language that we respond to. So some pupils will really like it when you go into an awful lot of detail and paint a picture of what you're talking about. Other students will just want all the detail, and so it's giving them a mixture of all of those, but being aware one-to-one what they relate to best. So this is the first motivator that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to give you more details on the searcher. The searcher motivator is all about seeking meaning and making a difference. And if you've been working at home and not being able to reach out and support the students that you know are really struggling, then actually they will have had a huge impact on your motivation. And you can see here that when we talk about that need to make a difference, actually that need for meaning and purpose, that need for seeing the bigger picture when you're thinking about what you're doing, that need to be listened to and consulted with, is probably very important for, I would say, if not all of you on this webinar, then the vast majority of you. And actually what we do in the longer sessions is look at the ways of increasing and supporting those motivators. So actually giving regular feedback. I'm sure if you've been in a role where you haven't been supported and where you haven't had regular feedback, that will have had a vast impact on your own motivation. So moving on, as I say, there's 9 motivators. These first 3 are the relationship motivators, so they tend to be very focused on feelings and people. And you'll notice the images on these slides. I've chosen them deliberately. This one could easily have been a big old oak tree. It's those students that are so tidy, so organised, like to know what they're doing, when they're doing it, how they're doing it. This may be one of your motivators, which is why I said on that chart, put you first, so you can just put a tick in the boxes when you recognise a strong motivator. And as I said, we've all got all 9 of them. So this is the people that are really organised. they will like to know where they sit in class when we're talking about students. They're the kids that have done the homework and they put all their bags ready for the night before when we are going into the classroom. The children and all of us that like belonging and friendships. Now, for adults, this is about why we go to work. It may be that you go to work to make a difference for the children, and actually you get on well with colleagues, but building up friendships isn't why you go to work. You may have friendships, really good ones, outside of work. This is for the adults and the children that really, they thrive on the energy and that connection with others. And it's children with these three relationship motivators. If any of these are strong, these are likely to be children that have been finding it more difficult during lockdown and when they haven't had that connection at school. And actually it's about thinking, how can we do that? So it may be that they have a link with a friend, either if they've got the technology at home, then maybe have a link open when they're both sat doing schoolwork, so that although there's not someone physically there, there is someone to just chat to occasionally. The star motivator is all about recognition, and these are the children that love star charts and love getting certificates and trophies and really thrive on that recognition. And actually, we often see parents saying, oh, I had one child that really responded to a star chart on the fridge door, and the other one wasn't bothered at all. This is the reason why, because one of them will be much more motivated by recognition and respect. Really important to use their names, the same for all three of them. So when you talk to them, begin your sentence with Trisha or with Amanda or with whoever. Really important for them. We're moving on now to the three achievement motivators. These are much more focused on data and really competitive. Vilda is highly competitive, quite often likes to have really nice things, but target driven. So it's about thinking, what can we give them to support their need to have targets? The director, these are the bossy kids in the playground when we're at school. Actually, they love having responsibility. I was talking to a parent only yesterday, and we realised that her daughter had a strong director motivator. So one of the things that we set her as a project was to organise a day out for the family, and she was going to organise it all because actually she will really thrive at that. The experts love learning and thrive on learning. They also love supporting others to learn, and they can quite easily get bored when they've got something and the other people in the classroom haven't. They need to be given something else to work on, or paired with the students, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's face to face, paired with other students that may be struggling, because actually that would really support them. Is any of this ringing bells? Are you starting to recognise some of your own motivators or your students' motivators? Just drop me a note in chat if anything's resonating there. Now, the creator motivator, great, Elizabeth, thank you for that. The creator motivator is the first of the growth motivators, and actually these are the children that are really tend to be thriving with lockdown. Now, I was talking to Gilda Scarfe earlier this week, SCARFE, and Gilda does some amazing research that encompasses children's motivators, and her early research findings from during lockdown are showing that there's a real percentage of children that are thriving and they're actually learning more. I'm just going to interrupt that. Liz, you've asked a great question to see them. Is it possible to see a bit of all of them? Yes, it is. And quite often there'll be 2 or 3 that are dominant. But if you've seen all of them, it could be that you find that you get bored quite easily if you're doing the same thing all of the time. So actually that's a real indicator to me that you've got a real array of the motivators and they're all quite even. So I'm going to go back. The creator they're the kids that really struggle with sitting in the same place in the classroom all the time. They're the ones that if they're at home, they'll probably have music, and if you've got a high creator, you'll probably be able to work with lots of background noise going on around you. And if you contrast that to the defender, who needs to know where they're going to be sat, and they need that really good place to do their homework, so they'll need a really tidy place. Actually, you can start to see the impact that the different motivators have on us all. Creators love problem solving and love thinking outside of the box. And the next one is the spirit. And actually the spirit does not like to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And if you think about the creator and the spirit motivator, in particular, these are the children that tend to be recognised as the ones that don't pay attention in class, that really are maybe the ones that are always messing around. And actually I was talking to a group of teachers the other day about maybe having, when you're all back in the classroom, in a normal classroom environment, whatever that may be, have maybe half a dozen desks where people can just sit, rather than having named desks and everyone sits in the same place. Have those desks so that kids with the spirit or the creator motivator can actually sit anywhere within that particular area. These are the kids that don't want all the detail, particularly with the spirit. They just want to be told what to do and actually left to get on with it. So I've really rushed through all of those, and I am hoping that that's given you a really good view of all of the different motivators, and you can see how maybe if we've got parents at home who have very different motivators from their children, how in the home environment, particularly at the moment, just understanding that we're all motivated differently and starting to, on that chart, think about actually what are all our different motivators within that household. It just gives people so much more insight, and actually we can start supporting and recognising individuals. And it's so crucial, because actually if we start recognising individuals' motivators, we can put the right support in place. Whether you're a member of the senior leadership team supporting all your staff group, or whether you're a member, whether you're a teacher with a whole class of students. And it doesn't have to be really, you don't have to know an awful lot, because when I've done a bit of work, we can start picking out and recognising just from people's language what are their motivators. If you ask a colleague or a pupil, if you're back at work or even on Zoom, what did they do at the weekend? Some of them will give you huge amounts of detail. Others will go, oh, you were fine, thanks. Even that simple question is a real indicator of whether overall they've got growth or they've got relationship motivators. So this shows, actually, for a staff team, what people's motivators are. Now, I use, when I'm working with teams or with students or with families, I use a tool called the motivational map that really high. It's so accurate. It's scary, actually. And it takes 10 minutes to fill in. And actually, if we've done a group of staff in this instance, or a class, we can see very quickly what people's motivators are. Now, in this table, you can see that I've put a big red mark round the two people, Sean and Andy. Now, that shows me that there is something going on with them. Now, actually, if they are key members of your team, you can then start having a conversation with them about what's going on, and let's look at your motivators. What are you enjoying? What aren't you enjoying? And can we make any changes to that? Because if they are key members of your team and their motivation is low, they may well be looking for another job. Now, again, that's where looking at, so that's where looking at the motivators can really support you with staff retention as well. The motivational map website, I would look at if anyone wants to find out more. My website is plainsailingmotivation.co.uk, and I'm a licensed practitioner of the motivational maps. So yeah, just give me a shout, Gina, and I can certainly help you with that. Now, this is interesting. This is a class data table, and you can see that Dan on this really isn't very highly engaged, and Khalif even more so. Now, you'll remember when I talked about the expert motivator, I said these kids can get very bored very quickly. Now, if you look at Khalif's expert motivator, it has been that 1 out of 10. He was bored stiff when I started working with him. He wasn't being challenged at school, he wasn't being engaged. He was highly intelligent and really wasn't getting anything out of school. And actually his creator and searcher motivator weren't being met either. So knowing that, we just did some really simple things, and that's where I want to make sure that you understand that this isn't about teachers having to think about what every child needs. I know that when you've got a class of 30, you can't do that, but just being able to run this report and check in on students' motivation, and crucially, if you remember, I said it's very linked to mental health and well-being. Actually, we can then see what's going on. It may be a child that you've not picked up has got any problems, but actually this shows us quite clearly where we need to be just doing a bit more looking into it. The percentage on this table, someone's just asked where that's calculated from. It's calculated from the top 3 scores on the motivators. So I mentioned about working with parents. Actually, at the moment, I'm doing free webinars for parents. So if your school wants me to deliver, it's an hour-long webinar for parents, I am doing that for free. Now, Danielle's just asked a question about how we can help students with autism. It is fascinating, and I'd love to talk to you, Danielle, because actually what this shows is even children that maybe have real problems with communication and engagement, actually if they've got really high relationship motivators, we need to be looking at more closely at how we can support them with developing those and how we can help them meet those motivators. It's also ticking the boxes with, not ticking boxes, but looking at PHC. If students understand that we're all different and we've all got different motivators, it can help them with relationships and with career choices. So I have whizzed through that, and I will come back to the questions and just see if I can answer any of them. I did give you an indication at the beginning of this session, and actually I hope you can all tell how passionate I am about everybody developing more of an understanding of motivation. And actually, I've got a teacher toolkit which has a handout for you all about how to meet student motivators, and actually also about what motivates you as a teacher, because your motivators impact on the way you teach and engage with your class. And what I'd like to do is offer a motivational map and a feedback session to the first 3 people that say I'm in the chat box. So, and anybody that comes in after the first 3 will be in touch with you. And I really, really hope that that's been useful. What I'd like to leave you with is a question. When was the last time you thought about your motivation and really sat and thought about actually how are you supporting your own motivation? And I'm going to leave you with that thought. As I say, I hope that that's been really useful. And actually, I'd love to know, what is the one thing that you're going to take away from this session? So, thank you, Lucy. I'm really pleased that's been useful. That's brilliant. And as I say, I'm very, very aware that that has been such a whip through what I'm so passionate about. So the reinforcing the factors, that's brilliant. I'm so pleased that you all found it useful. Yeah, and helping your children as well. And actually, I should have said that, shouldn't I? Because actually, it helps everyone. All right, I hope you have the most amazing day, and I will look forward. And Amar, you've just said about the Star Awards. Be very aware that kids without that star motivator, that won't be of interest to them at all. So it's about thinking about what you can offer each student in terms of how you can motivate individuals. All right, have a brilliant day, have a brilliant weekend, and I will come back to the people that have asked questions. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to answer more of them, and I also apologise for my very croaky voice today. All right, take care, bye.